Welcome and thank you for joining us for another episode of Teachers for Teachers. That's you, moms and dads. I'm Dr. Dejana and I'm here with my colleague, Dr. Leah. Hello.
Hello, it's so good to see you. I prefer we're in the same room, but this is really good. So, we want to talk today about the importance of creativity and playfulness in learning. And we couldn't have a better guide since that is Dejana's title, and the presence walks in with her. Everything I've done with Dejana has had enjoyment and playfulness as a central focus, and you bring that to all of our educational programs. So, Dr. Dejana, this is your platform.
This is totally my zone. I am all about playful, imaginative, and creative learning. And really, it all goes down to the importance of having fun. I think that's kind of the core. I did some quick research, and according to Psychology Today, having fun is so important because it does a couple of things for us, both on an intellectual, emotional level and on a physiological level. So, when you talk about education and learning, you need to also think about fun. Having fun relaxes us, it gives us space to reflect, it helps us learn by having fun, and it also promotes our own personal health and well being. So, if I'm an educator or a mom or a dad out there, and I want my kids to be healthy, I want them to love learning, I definitely want to find an opportunity to engage in some playful learning and have fun. Isn't that right?
That is so true. And it's not just about the kids. The rest of us, life is more enjoyable if you add playfulness to all of the tasks. So, should we bring in our panel?
Sure, absolutely. As always, we are so excited and honored to have our guest panelists join us. I'm going to start off with Dr. Marcella Klein Williams. Welcome again to the show. An accomplished leader, Williams' strength includes organizational development, systems design, and strategic partnership. She's led an impressive career in teaching and administration within the preschool through graduate level education programs. Currently the regional director of the Ventura County Office of Education. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have Marcella here. Go ahead and give a wave so they know exactly who I'm talking about. There we go. Also welcoming to the panel, Anne McMullen. Again, a joy to have you join us. Anne is an education consultant based in Los Angeles.
Whoa, technology issues. I think Dejana just froze for a minute.
Oh, okay, good. It's not us. It's not us. It's her.
You think we have her back? Has everybody frozen?
Nope. There she
No?
is.
There. We lost you for a second,
Are we back?
Dejana.
I hope it wasn't an unfortunate pose, but continue here.
You go ahead and
And
pick up.
again, we're welcoming Anne. I don't know when we left off, but we're
That's
welcoming
perfect.
Anne, an education consultant based in Los Angeles, works throughout the United States and internationally as a public speaker, writer, and consultant with a focus on leadership. Project director for COSIN Empowered Superintendents Program and author of Life Lessons in Leadership. Welcome, Anne. So glad to have you.
Thank you, Patricia.
And again, joining us again today, we're super excited about this. We have Dr. Mark Riddle. Now, Mark has a PhD in sociology from the University of California and currently serves as the University Director of Educational Effectiveness for West Coast University, an institution dedicated to educating healthcare professionals. Mark lives in Los Angeles and enjoys time with their two cats. Oh, I love that. I just got two little ones of cat kittens of my own. Love it. That is an amazing panel. We can't wait to welcome you to this conversation about the importance of play and fun when it comes to learning.
It may also include a little mentoring slash coaching for Mark, since he confessed earlier that it's been 8 or 9 months since he's had any fun.
True.
Mark, you've come to the right place. I think by the end of our half hour together, we'll definitely be able to provide you with some strategies and tools and protocols to experience fun in your life.
You know I'm looking forward to it.
And Marcella, I think you came to this conversation armed with some game cards. Can you tell us a little about them?
Oh, yes, I have them. So these are very sophisticated. They're basically, all we did is we took Post-it notes and put on the Post-it notes things that we enjoy doing. So this one's called Giant Jenga. This one is a porch tour. So everybody during the day can decide which one they want to do and then move it from one side of the window to the other to show evidence that they have taken a moment out for some fun. Part of the reason that we did this is definitely in response to the pandemic, but also seeing the value of taking time out for fun and enjoyment. And, you know, many of these are doing things together. That's what really feeds our soul. And Mark. But also as a learner, when you're having fun, your brain is opened up even more to those possibilities and to be able to innovate. So yes, I've got even at home, I've got my little strategies for having fun.
One of the things I love about that is that it's like for the age ranges, you can just change the items that are available or put them lower on the window for the smaller people to choose from.
Right. And choice has a big thing to do with it, is that way everybody, there's a selection of things, they have the autonomy to choose which ones they feel like on which days to be able to do.
And
Now-
so, oh, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I was just going to say I'm currently porchless, but I am intrigued by the notion of a porch tour. Could you say a word?
Oh, you'd like to hear about our porch tour. Well, a porch tour is going from spot to spot and outside of all the places that we have to sit. So right in front of our front doors, we have a porch swing and then 2 chairs. And then in the middle of the front yard, we also have another patio. And then we have one area where there's chairs next to the what we call the bird porch, and that's where the bird feeder's right there, so you just watch the birds being fed. So we have a number of these stations. It's also, we found it's a good way when people come over, when Ian wants to visit with his friend, who's married to my friend, we just take a porch tour and you stay a couple of minutes at each one, admire the view, and have easy conversations. So
Nice.
yes, that is the porch tour.
So I know we're going to give Mark
concert.
We're going to give Mark a hard time through the whole half hour, I'm sure. But I do know Mark well enough to know that that's his humor. He has been having some fun, and we'll hear more about it. But Anne, what do you have to say?
That he's just not willing to tell us right now, but we're going to get that from him and find out. You know, one of the things I was thinking, because we're all living in Zoom world so much lately, and how do you leverage that for some fun? And I was thinking of, you know, like when you used to, kids would play charades in person, you can do that. You know, have your friends on Zoom and do charades and you know, play and see how that would work. And we talked before about, you know, putting music together and having fun with that. Some of the other things that I have seen, though I love Marcella's idea with the cards and we can just pick, you know, what we're going to do, but, you know, have a picnic in the living room, you know, and that could be a fun thing, or a Christmas in July party, you know, at your house. And how would you creatively put that together and do that? Do a little talent show at home, or have everybody rotate telling jokes or something. But I so agree with you. It's so necessary in normal times and critical in these times that we find a way to laugh together, to experience joy together, and some creativity that is fun together. So yeah, I think we can do it. But I want to hear from Dejana, our fun expert, also.
Oh my gosh. These are all wonderful ideas. And it's so important to like just take one and go for it. Even in these times where, we're in this pandemic, we might be spending more time at home. Switching from work mode to home mode is not as obvious anymore because many of us are working from home. And so it's really important to be strategic about where can I just play and have fun and just have fun with the people that are around me, the people that I can have fun with. And so some suggestions that I came up with, I hope Brandon has at least one of these documents that I found. A dear friend of mine on Instagram, right when this pandemic was starting, compiled all of these fun activities
Oh, nice.
that you can do as a family or just by yourself, just because. Now, the first one I want to share, it's called the 30-Day Maker Challenge. The reason why I'm sharing this is because we're the 2-Bit Circus Foundation. We're all about the maker mindset and being creative. And this 30-Day Maker Challenge is so fun. You should start it this weekend with your family if you're listening right now. So the key things are, it's basically, these are all exercises and activities to help you practice your curiosity and to just try something new. It says makers think, question, design, create. They struggle, they collaborate, try, solve, invent, reflect. If you can imagine it, you can make it. So there are a list of 30 different things that you can do either by yourself or with a group, with your family, to just kind of engage in this invention. Some of them that I like: make something that flies. How cool is that? To do a design challenge with your family. At the end of the day, we're going to make something that flies. And then maybe we can test the different flights and see what that looks like. That's super fun. I've done that. And then we have things that are make something that's super large, make something that's really tiny, make something you can hang on the wall. Just continue to make different things. Make something that has moving parts. Make something that can hold your own weight. Okay, that gets a little interesting for us older people, but still. Make something that moves in the wind. Make something that floats. Make something with the things you find outside. Make something that somebody in your family would love. Make a gift. Just make something, and you'll find that that brings a lot of joy when you're just being creative and making something with the stuff that you have lying around. And some of these things don't require any materials. Make something that shows how you're feeling today. Just constantly practicing that creativity. So there's a 30-Day Maker Challenge right there where you can get all of these really cool ideas and just go with it. And some families, we actually need a list so that we can check through. And after we start with our list, then it becomes a habit and it's much easier to engage in these playful learning experiences. But schedule some time and say, hey, this is our hour. We're going to do our Make Challenge. It's going to be awesome. And commit to it for 30 days. And I guarantee, especially Mark, that you will start experiencing some fun. Now, there is a 30-Day Maker Challenge. There's a 30-Day Book Challenge, which isn't necessarily reading books. Some of the activities are like build something out of Legos that could belong in the book. Draw a new book cover, create a new environment or home for one of the characters in your book. So these are all really fun ways to just kind of, I don't have a lot of materials, I'm not leaving the house, but we're going to get together and we're going to have some creative fun. My other one that's a favorite is the Mover Challenge, because I don't know about you guys, but I find that if I actually calculated how many hours I spent in this chair in front of my computer, I'd
it gets depressing. Yeah.
So, the Move Challenge is really cool because it gives you all these little ideas to keep you moving, even though we're not moving very far due to the pandemic. So there's really cool and fun things to do, but really my suggestion or my advice, and to get back to the basic question, is sometimes we need to schedule it. Sometimes we just need to make a commitment and say, we're gonna have an hour of fun. We're gonna drop everything, stop what we're doing, and just play. Just play. No expectations, no grading, no rules. Well, sometimes rules, but anyhow, we're just going to play. And I think when we can do that, when we find time to do that, we'll see that we're engaging in playful learning. We're reflecting on the relationships and the bonds that we have with the people that are around us. and we'll hopefully see like it increases our well-being. We'll just feel better. Just feel better. But those are kind of my okay, a little bit more than 60 seconds, but my 60-second response of what are some things that we can do? Let's make it a priority. Put it in our schedule. Let's have an hour of play.
And these are free things. These are things they're just instructing you to do around you. No, my grandchildren were in summer camp this week, virtual, and they loved it. They played hide and seek virtually. And it was the kids could see into your room and they had to hide in their room and they were thrilled. They created a play together. They, working on the billboard for it. And, it'd be nice if they could be together. But the fact that they're doing these things is really important. So what kind of fun plans does everybody have for this weekend? Mark, I'm sure by the end of today, you will be inspired to pick up something fun for the next few days.
I certainly plan to get out on my bicycle, but I've also this morning I was compiling a list of people that I really just hadn't heard from since COVID, and was thinking, I'm gonna take this list and I'm gonna go through this list, and at least a couple times during the week I'm gonna pick some time that I have and arrange to talk to some of these folks who I don't know how they're doing, I don't know how I'm doing, but those conversations that give joy and allow us time to be silly, really do break up the monotony. I was thinking too, based on some of Dejana's intro, one of the very first neuroscience articles I read about learning talked about, most of what we learn gets tagged with emotions, and why not joy, right? I mean,
Right.
like yes, pain and suffering is possible, but why not joy? So yeah, definitely. I think in my own case, I think part of why I have to think every morning, like, what day is this, is because the days do run together, right? Because I haven't taken the time to tag, to take the opportunity to do something that's joyful or creative or expansive or whatever, and so they do kind of run together. But you folks have inspired me. I think I'll do a better job of scheduling some of that, so I can at least say, oh yeah, it's Friday, and I'm confident about that.
Marcella, you're dealing with mostly adults in the house right now, but that card game for you, when did you start that? Were they children?
Oh, yes, actually, I've been doing this for years, and it's a big hit whenever we have, either the grandkids or friends with little ones, or even when our friends come over, is to be able to put a list. It just hangs on the window that's in the dining room, and that way, when they're guests, I can give them options of things that they can do. So on the list that's normally there, it has things like go down to the pier, go shopping, go out dancing one night, depending on who it is. And one of the all-time favorites is to go ice blocking. So you get a block of ice from the market, and then you sit on top of the block of ice and you slide down a hill. It's great fun. It's great fun.
I've never heard of this, and I'm from Canada. We know ice.
Sounds like great fun.
Right. So it's all quite a lot of fun. So I've been doing it for years, and I think the part that's really very helpful is it gives somebody kind of this border of what they can do, but they feel like they have some selection in kind of making those choices that go along with it. And I think the other piece is it helps find kind of these moments of joy that are always there, but you don't make a point of. So earlier in the late spring, we had lupin that was down in the parking. So one of them was go for a walk in the lupin forest. So there's a bench down there as well. So it was just making a big, to do about go down and sit amongst the lupin and take a look. Right. But when you put it like this and then it just gets people to actually take in the moment where before it might have just been passed by.
You hit on something about choices that reminded me of something Dejana said recently about schedules and with the kids. I was saying, you know, my daughter has the kids with like a daily schedule, and she said she and Aldo tried that and the kids mutinied. But their way of handling it was then have the kids take part in setting the schedule. And it really does empower, right? It gives them an opportunity to have agency over their own world. And that is what we want to nurture.
Yeah. And I remember a quote, I have no idea who it comes from, but the definition of play is self-directed learning. So if people have a choice as to what to do, so gardening can either be a punishment because you're grounded, go pull weeds, or if it's self-directed, it can be this expression of joy and a hobby. So it just depends on what end of the stick you're on, if you're choosing to do it or not. So I think that's part of where all that choice comes in.
Yeah, I wish I had that at the beginning of the summer when we tried to make a schedule for the children. But now it's going much better, that it is their choice that they need to do for the most part, for sure. And everybody, for the most part, is having fun. But I do have some scheduled fun planned for this weekend. So we'll see what happens. We were not able to go on our lake trip, kayaking. However, the kayaks have been dropped off at the house, and we will be going kayaking in the pool this weekend. And we're setting up different stations and different docks around the pool. So we'll be going to explore different shores.
That's
around
great.
the pool, so that we can still experience our kayak trip. You got to be creative with what you got.
And these are the remembers that will stay with the kids, right? It's not always the big trip somewhere. It's like the imaginative little projects that you put together with them.
I can only imagine now, 20 years from now, my adult children saying, remember that time we vacationed in the backyard and went kayaking in the pool? It was like 1, 2 kayak done.
Well, what about everybody else? Any weekend plans? This is really about helping parents see that it is okay to drop all of the directed learning and just embrace the joy of the weekend.
Well, I, for one, would like to go hang out at either Marcella's house or Dejana's house this and see, being part of that fun. But actually, we are doing a family thing. Today is actually my younger son and his wife's 16th wedding anniversary. So we're going to do a safe distancing get-together thing tomorrow to celebrate that. So it will be fun to see them and at the safe distance with masks on and do all that, but celebrate that very special day that we all treasure so much from years ago when they got married on a beach in Ireland and we were all there. So it was fun for that. But a couple of the other things I had read about, and I love the idea of choice. I love, Dejana, the notion that, okay, this is going to be our fun day, and now you figure out what we're going to do for fun, and to empower the kids to do that. I think that's terrific on so many levels, and takes a little pressure off of you, but also I just think, you know, it's a great thing for them to have that agency to be able to do that. One of the other things I had seen was to have a costume night. So everybody kind of creates their own costume of what they're going to do and come out and explain that. Another thing I read about was that nail art is quite a thing. So, you know, just having fun doing something with your nails and decorating them and letting people see, you know, what that is. So there are just so many. That is, and we've said before, one of the things I think coming out of this horrific pandemic is unbelievable creativity, and to see that happening as people think, okay, well, we can't do this now, you know, we'll try that. It's just really terrific. And then, you know, and we had talked on this broadcast about games and video games and Dungeons and Dragons and so forth, but you know, you can actually drag out an old board game and do that for fun sometime for people who still may have those in their home, and let the kids experience those. So yeah, lots of things, but it is critical to do it. And Leah, I'm just so glad you both brought up the whole topic of fun and why we need to really be deliberate about it. Even Mark needs to be deliberate about it.
Well, you know, our board chair,
Board
Brent
games.
Bushnell,
I'm sure Mark has some of those
Oh,
board
sorry.
games somewhere.
it's hard with Zoom not to talk over each other because we don't hear it as well. And I was just saying the chairman of the board for Two Bit Circus Foundation, Fast Company magazine, did a story on his family called The First Family of Fun. And it was because his father, Nolan Bushnell, started Atari and Chuck E. Cheese's, but he also is a huge board game fan. So it made me think about, like, we're working with Nolan to really look at what the future of education could be coming out of this pandemic, and excited to invite him to join us on one of these conversations in the next little while. For now, we have 2 days ahead of us. I plan to plant another tree. I'm gonna run out of space soon because it's not that big a property. And clear some more space for a bigger garden. But I am eating arugula that I planted the first week of the quarantine. And I have the grandkids helping me with all of that, along with dog sitting now, because they're quite mad about the new dog.
That sounds wonderful, Leah. A weekend of grandchildren and gardening. I mean, there's definitely going to be some fun and play there.
Yes.
For sure.
And Charlie,
I was gonna say, and the dog.
yes, Charlie has her own ideas about how fun should happen around here. We're planning the deck now around the running course that Charlie has established.
Oh.
Yeah. And Mark, the cats, I'm guessing that my dog and your cats are probably not gonna meet.
I'm thinking we're probably no play dates in our
No.
immediate future. But
Well,
they
maybe
could pen pals maybe.
perhaps, or we can have dinner dates and pictures, share pictures of the two of them when they release us from this.
Yeah.
Mark, you bring
If
up
you're
a
gonna
big
watch cat
topic.
videos, they might as well be my cats, right? I mean,
Right.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, you bring up a big topic that I think is kind of cool to kind of leave with when you guys brought up play dates. So parents all around the country and all around the world, play dates look a little different now. But not to worry, we can still find ways to have fun. Like that's really the messaging that we should be giving the children. There are 1,001 different ways that we can have fun with our families, with our friends, and with each other, for sure.
I also want to suggest on Netflix there's a series called Anne with an E, and it's set in a time before there was technology. And looking at the fun that those kids had was really impactful for my granddaughter. And we talk about it often when there's a time there's no technology. We talk about how interesting they were and how their games were things that they created. And imagination was so important in those days. It's equally as important now, but we haven't been thinking about it. And technology can get in the way of that.
It can. Technology is a great resource, but we still need to make sure we keep to our core, which is our creative imagination.
Right. I think
And
it's
I
time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being with us.
Have fun.
Yeah.
So much for being with us, and I am looking forward to a weekend full of fun and also practicing what I preach and make sure I dedicate that time of fun and play every single day. I'm Dr. Dejana, and again, I'm here with my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Leah. And that's it for Teachers for Teachers. You moms and dads, we'll hope to see you next time.
Bye now.